Here we go. Hi, I've got my dog with me today, so bear with me. Let's talk about meal planning, okay? I think that this in some ways can be a polarizing topic because yeah, we all need to eat. Yeah, we need to figure out what we're gonna eat, when we're gonna eat it, all that business. But I think with, when it comes to meal planning, some people are into it and some people cannot stand it. And I want to dive into that a little bit more because it's not all black and white. I think there's a lot of gray area, and I think once we embrace that gray area, I think it actually makes it something more enjoyable and maybe something even a little more appealing to people. So bear with me here. So here's my story. I used to hate meal planning. I love the idea of having a lot of variety in my eating and getting to be creative and kind of fly by the seat of my pants. And oddly, I actually enjoyed going to the grocery store every day and just kind of getting inspired by what I saw. And it was fun, don't get me wrong. I mean, at that point, I wasn't even married or anything. I certainly didn't have kids. But it also made it so that I didn't even have dinner on the table until 8 p.m. I was lucky if we were eating by 8 p.m. or if I was eating by 8 p.m. rather. And I'm not the most organized person in life in general, but back then I was even more disorganized, and the idea of having to have a plan every day and be organized down to every single crumb that I ate just really didn't appeal to me at all. And so, of course, I never made a meal plan, which kind of worked for me at that point, but it also caused me to eat later, to spend more money because I was going to the grocery store every day, and you always have those impulse buys, at least I do. So once kids came into the mix for us, it became very apparent that I would have to start being a little more organized, and also it was really important to me to prioritize that time where we as a family sit down and just come back together, talk about our days, and enjoy a meal together. I really wanted to keep that going. And so for us, we will always prioritize being able to sit and eat together over doing a ton of different activities. We still do activities, but it's not this situation where we are, running around every night so that we don't ever get to sit down and enjoy our meals together. Even if it's just, some Stouffer's mac and cheese or like a pizza that I threw into the oven from the freezer, that's fine. At least we're sitting down together. I think the thing that trips people up a lot is the fact that they think that they have to make this huge plan, and they think that they have to stick to it, and tonight we're gonna eat meatloaf no matter what. And then they find, hey, I'm not in the mood for meatloaf. I think I'd rather eat chicken. But they haven't built that flexibility into their plan, and so they kind of get bored with it. They get sick of having to plan. They feel like they're not being creative, and it all becomes just a giant pain in the butt for them. I think the thing that made that transition from having no plan at all to actually doing some meal planning a lot easier to swallow for me, if you will. See what I did there? I think the thing that made that easier was that I stopped viewing it as an all or nothing thing. I shifted my brain from this perspective that I had to plan it all out and I had to plan every single bite that we put into our mouths out to, you know what, get an idea for a few meals to have this week. And even if you don't know what nights you're gonna do those meals, you've got what you need to put it together and it's ready to go, so that I can be like, hey, I feel like having chicken on Tuesday night, so I throw together some chicken. And the idea of not having to be perfect with it and not having to overcomplicate it actually made it more desirable and more enjoyable for me. So give it a try. Take a different approach to meal planning and simplify it a little bit, and you may find that you actually enjoy it more than you ever thought you would. That's what happened to me.